Welcome to Positive Waves. My name's Matthew Collinson, and this is my great friend.
I'm Joseph Somma.
And today we are flowing. The last subject I wanted to talk about was legacy, only because that's exactly what I feel like I'm kind of trying to do for my family and friends. Is I want to leave something that people can continue to bounce off of for a while.
There you go. What do you got planned? What are you working on? I know you are launching a few things in NG lately.
Yeah, just one thing at a time on that one because it takes a bit of effort and time, but I really enjoy. Obviously, I'm a dreamer, so that's kind of my realm. That's where I love to talk. That's where I love to be. And over the last 25 years, all I've done is study and develop and understand how to take these different things, these dreams, these visions, these goals, and put them into reality. And it's just now I'm just starting to blossom. So I really want to work with a lot of people on all of their dreams and all of their goals and all of their visions. And this is one way that I can serve the population and do that. So I figured in good service, it'll be a good thing to put out there. I just came up with the principles today and put those out there. So I'm super excited, man.
Nice. Now, are you targeting only those who are ready, or are you targeting those who are sort of lost? Like when I first started into NG, I was pretty lost. I wasn't quite sure what I was looking for, or what I wanted to do. So, would you be able to work with those folks as well? Yeah.
Yes, actually, I like that. In fact, because I have felt that way myself. I had felt that way for many, many years. I was totally lost and couldn't find my way. But over time, you find the way and you see that light, and then you just take one step, two step, and that's what I always tell people, man. It's like no matter what problem, no matter what challenge, no matter what we come up against, all you have to do is take another step, then another step. You will work through it.
Yep. That's a great key to life in general. Like, don't sit in that shit space. Don't dwell on that horrible emotion. Keep moving, work through it. You'll get out of it. But I love that.
Yeah, I think that's what these kinds of groups are for, though. I think it's there to support people, number one, support where they currently are. And you're not starting at the top of the, you're not starting with 20 years experience and what it is you're seeing. You're just starting the first step, the second step. So, like, I think if you remind yourself, this is why it's so important to kind of be consistent and like get around people like that every single week. I do. I do for all my endeavors. Like everything I do now has a group of people working on it, and I can do so much more when I'm working with other people. So can you. So can anyone else.
Well, yeah, I mean, teamwork makes the dream work. It may just be a saying to some, but to those who have actually utilized the tool, it is an amazing aspect to building your dream, your legacy, so to say.
I was a part of none of the projects I'm currently on 3 years ago. I'm part of half a dozen projects that I've been creating over time with people, and it's a blast, man. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, we get to talk about positive waves all day, or, at least on our hour that we segment, but I could talk about it all day long.
Right?
Just that it's the one step, two step. We're building an audience right now. We're trying to, in fact, this is where we need your help. This is where you can subscribe and share our podcast. We're trying to really grow this thing. And
Right.
we are excited to bring positive waves to the world.
Yep. And like you said, one step at a time, and it's creating the dream, bringing that dream into reality.
Well, and here's the thing that I imagine with this, Joe, is that, 100 years down the road, or possible great, great, great grandchildren, or somebody that just heard about our name or something, will be like, huh, I wonder what that person was about. And then they'll watch videos that we had done. I mean, and see what we were about. That's what I think is so cool. It's like almost like that kind of that's a legacy piece as well. Just leaving what we were about.
Right. That thought kind of hit me the other day. You posted something, a Bob Proctor video, and I just looked at his picture. I'm like, man, this guy has been doing this for what was it, like 60 years or something like that,
Hmm.
heart and soul put into it. And he's currently passed. But the youth, the younger generation, when people like us talk about him, like, who the hell's Bob Proctor? And they go look him up, and then boom, there he is. All of his wisdom, all of his knowledge, just accessible to those on YouTube or wherever they may find them.
Yeah, it always amazes me to think about the small ripple effects like that, and because you know me and patterns.
Right. Well, I mean, to create that ripple, you have to start. I mean, you dip that toe in the water, you create that ripple. Keep diving in, keep going deeper.
Exactly, man. That's all I want to do. Uh, oh, well, another announcement I just thought about for the Positive Waves followers is I did just release another ebook that's inside there, and it's 10 steps to the life you envision. So, really, like, it brings you down the path. It's one step at a time, but it's like you can do these steps over and over again until you get that vision. We want to bring you guys a library of good content that you can like take and do something with so that you can create the life you want to create.
Create your own legacy.
Create your own legacy. Exactly. Kind of comes back to the whole subject that we were starting off on, which is the legacy piece. I want people to be able to create their legacies. I want to create my legacy. I want others to create theirs.
Right. And a lot of it's knowing that you don't have to stay where you're at. We've talked about it before. You make that choice to make a different decision, and you can do amazing things with every choice you make. You can also do horrible things with every choice you make, but depends on the choice you choose.
And choices. There's so many of them out there. And then sometimes you don't have a choice. You just have to act because, you know, kids and stuff. I mean, I'm a parent, you're a parent. We all know how
Mhm.
that goes. It's like you just have to do certain things.
True. Very true.
So, have you noticed anything with the low moon cycle this week?
Now, you were
Or,
saying something before the call that's kind of like a chaotic moment, right?
yeah, man. We just hit it as of, I think, today. It might have been yesterday, but I think it's today. Where now it's going to be like you're going to see the chaos going on in general all around you.
Oh, hell, it's already started in my world.
Same, man. Same. I'm scared.
Not really scared, just like so much going on. Like, not, I don't want to say I'm trying to keep control, but I'm trying to keep in flow with everything that I'm doing. And, there's been a lot more roadblocks, so to say, thrown up or detours having to be created to continue on the path. Like I just said a moment ago, don't stay stuck. Make a choice, keep going to do something. To keep you on your track. And essentially, that's what's going on. It's just it's that suck. It sucks.
Yeah. If we look at the pattern of like when we're creating or manifesting something though, as we get closer and closer to that vision or goal, uh we get more obstacles thrown at us. So that could be a good sign for you too.
Well, I'm not complaining. I know
Yeah.
good things happen through challenging moments. I've learned multiple times now over the last couple of years to just run face first into that fear. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Don't get scared. That's all just that illusion in your head. Like keep going, work through it. You'll manage it, believe it or not. You may think you can't, but you can.
Yeah. I was just listening to a Joe Dispenza this morning, and it was kind of about that thought process of getting yourself into that state of being that you want to be and just keep following through with it and just keep going at it, keep thinking about that focus essentially. And if you
Right.
do that enough times, you get there no matter what happens around you.
Right. And like, for me, it's almost I'm finding myself staying in that fear state, not that I'm scared, just that feeling of unknown, don't know what to do, how to act. And it's staying there, it's creating so many wonderful things. Granted, it can be chaotic at times creating those things, but nothing happens out of easiness.
Yeah. You got to have the challenges and the darknesses to make the light worthwhile anyway. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, I mean, I had a real scare last week. You know, my mom was in a surgery. So, She's doing well now. Though she's up, she's walking in nature now and doing everything seems pretty good now. So it seems to have worked so far, what she needed done. So
That's good.
yay! I'm
Glad
happy.
she's doing good, getting
Yeah,
on the right track,
that's my win.
right? I know some people, when they go through that surgery at a certain age, most people just don't want to get up and go. That pain keeps them grounded in bed, and most of the time, that's what is your downfall. You want to get up and move through that pain. Don't allow that pain to keep you stuck or keep you still. And I've even watched my dad, have a knee replacement, and he was the only person out of like I think it was six people that had the same knee operation that day. He was the only one up and moving. He was out of the post-op in a couple days. Everyone else, they were there for quite a while. I don't know how long because my dad was up and gone. Because he got up. He was the one that worked through the pain. He was the one that doctor said, start walking. You start walking. Don't sit there and feel stuck or allow the pain to take control of you because it's not doing anything beneficial for you.
Yeah, it's what I admire about my mom actually is that she went into this thing with like such a positive attitude of like everything's gonna be great. This is like awesome. I'm gonna be pain free, and I'm gonna have some. Uh, I'm gonna have more energy, and all the other stuff because how pain takes away from your energy. So
Oh yeah.
uh, I find it fascinating when people go into things like that with such a good attitude and how they come out of it so much more likely on the better side. I mean, there's obviously the cases where a person's totally happy and it
Well,
doesn't go good, but
that essentially goes to you creating your own reality. I've shared many spaces. I'm not sure if I fully shared here, but like I've had 8 operations in 2 years, and I was terrified going into every single one of them. Absolutely terrified. I even had nurses tell me to shut up. You're scaring the other patients, and it's like, well, this is operation number 6, and I'm still broken. Like, but I didn't have that positive mindset. I wasn't in that space of this is going to go great. This is going to be perfect. I'm going to be healing and back to work in no time. I mean, the doctor would tell me all the time after every operation, you're going to be back to work in no time. And never was, so I had a different experience. But when it came to Operation 9 and 10, totally different outcomes. Totally different. I had that positive mindset. I had that faith that things were going to work out well, and they absolutely did. For Operation number 10, I was experienced in Reiki. I knew how to use energy to help bring healing to my cells, and I literally closed up a surgical scar in 3 to 4 days when I was supposed to have the bandage changed in 9 days and come back for another follow up. And the doctor didn't know what to say. He's like, I've never seen anyone heal themselves this quickly. Like you were supposed to come back, in a week after this to, see how your scar looked, but you're closed up, you're healed, you're good to go.
add a positive mental attitude, man. I'm telling you, there's power behind it.
There is. Hard for people to believe at times, but it's amazing. You get in that right mindset and you hold yourself to that mindset and you can achieve amazing things.
Yeah, I'm really excited about life right now, to be honest with you, even with all the hard stuff that goes on and challenges that have been going on recently. I'm truly, truly excited about where everything seems to be going in different directions in a lot of ways. It's hilarious how many buttons I have going right now for that, but it's like not even like a lack of focus anymore. I'm like really calm with all of it now. I just feel like everything's working perfectly, as it were.
Right.
Perfectly, imperfectly, imperfect, perfectly, all of it.
I like to use the term controlled chaos because life is essentially a lot of controlled chaos. It
Mm,
may not always feel controlled, but there's a flow with all of it. And like you with recognizing patterns, you start seeing the pattern and get into that mindset of how to flow within that chaos. It's not chaos, it's just the outer world doing what it does. But when you're good with yourself and you know what you want, where you're going, how to get there, and all of that, it's it's like a calming feeling. It's beautiful.
it is. Right. I love that beauty. It's kind of like, have you ever gone like skiing or snowboarding or anything before you were injured?
No, that's something I never got to
Uh,
experience.
I'm trying to think of something. Water skiing or anything?
I've tried water skiing. I've gotten up a couple times. I've not like been that great at it.
All right, so let's use that one. It's like when you just get into that good flow state when you're on the water and everything's just going perfectly. You just feel the flow of the water as you're bouncing with it, and you just get catch that perfect just flow. And that's exactly what it feels like. I feel. I was gonna say snowboarding for me. It's when you get that nice powder and you're going at like 50 miles an hour down a hill, like blowing in
Ooh,
your face. You just catch everything, and you're just in that flow state, going back and forth in a nice rhythm, and you just feel that rhythm. I could use the same thing for gardening too. I get into that rhythm when I'm gardening and doing plants and being with my plants and talking to them and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I'm one of those people. I talk to my plants.
supposed to. You're supposed to. It's a living organism.
It is, man. And I tell you, man, they'll reach for you too. It's hilarious to watch. It cracks me
Mhm.
up. Like
Helps them
not
out.
not on like a massive level, not like a poison ivy level, but like hi.
Right. Well, that I don't remember his name. That Japanese guy who studied the molecular structure of water, and how speaking to it can totally change it at its most cellular level. Like we're 77% water. Our brains like what 90% water. Plants are majority water. You're speaking that good vibration to them, they're gonna react.
Yeah, man. I know it's like breaking apart the molecules or bringing them together with love. I heard about something very similar. I think Dr. Joe Dispenza was talking about that at some point too. I've heard it in a lot of ways though, in a few different studies. So I think it's been done a lot of times at this point, which is good that multiple people found the same thing. I find.
Right? Dr. Masaru Emoto,
Hmm.
Masaruemoto, was the one that I was checking out.
Well, we'll put the link in the description on this episode when we get it out. And
Right on. That's a
like,
great read. Like,
yeah,
fall into a rabbit hole and see how amazing it is just to speak to your water, even your drinking water.
it's true. So you love water. Like every time I pick up a glass, man, I'm like, I love you, water. I gotta drink it. It feels good. I
Hmm.
don't know. I could just be crazy too, but I don't mind it. I like being a little bit crazy.
Well, I think you got to be a little bit crazy to steer away from the programmed lifestyle of here's what happened on the news. Let's instill that fear into you.
Oh my God, when was the last time I actually watched the news? Had to be about a decade at this point. Like I really like stay away from it. I made that. I think I might have been listening to Wayne Dyer or reading Wayne Dyer at that point, and he was talking about something, and I was like, oh yeah, I started recognizing it in some patterns, like with video games, for instance. I'm a gamer, but I kind of like to play pretty games now as opposed to like really epic, violent, tense games. Although some of them get violent, but I mean, you're in a video game, monsters and stuff come. You got to get
Well,
the monsters. You got to catch them all.
I tend to like the um, RPG, I think they're
Mhm.
called, like Skyrim. I enjoy playing Skyrim.
That's kind of what I like.
I have not been able to sit down and turn it on in a while. But yeah, you're walking through the woods looking for something, all of a sudden a bear pops out of nowhere or a thief or something. Like I get it. Like it's not a consistent uh like anxiety feeling where like Call of Duty or some of those army time games where you go in there knowing there's weapons pointed at you from any direction. And
PvP.
yeah, yeah. So I get it. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I just got the Hogwarts Legacy. That one's a fun one. So you're playing Harry Potter characters. You make your own character, but you start in like your fifth year or something.
Nice. I don't even think I've heard of it yet.
Yeah, it's a
I've,
cool game, man.
I've been so
Pretty fun.
focused on building my legacy in a sense, creating myself to be who I'm desiring to become, so my family can also have that more easier life after I'm gone.
Who do you desire to become, Joe?
Me, literally me.
I love
Like I could look at anybody out there and think like, wow, they're doing great things, but that's not me. That's not what I'm trying to do. I have my own little twist that I am working to create, and it's slowly coming together like you know, step by step, making it happen. That's where I am as well, step by step, making it happen.
what one are you focusing on right now? Which piece are you creating?
Which project?
Pick one.
There's like three projects I'm working on, and between the breathwork atrium, the podcast, and myself, what I'm growing myself. Well, obviously we know what we're doing here in the breathwork atrium. We're still working to finish the website and get everything down so we can launch and start doing that stuff. For myself, I'm in the process of working with a coach on helping me work through some blockages, but I'm also starting to pick up literature on NLP because NLP is one of the next steps that I wish to learn in becoming, you know, essentially the mindset coach that I'm inspiring to be. And you know, I've had so many people tell me, well, why don't you just start it now? And essentially, yeah, I'm sure I could, but at the same time, I want some tools under my belt. I want to be able to help people, not, you know, mess people up more. Like I'm here to bring you know, peace, not more pain.
I think we all try. I think it's gonna, like, it does naturally happen in both ways, needless to say, whether we know it or not, you know, because ripples go, ripples go. It's
Mm,
gonna happen from time to time. I try to help more than I hurt, obviously. I know that I have, like, probably, I think I've done pretty well though. Like, most of the people that I've interacted with seem to be growing on a good scale. So
that's good. You know, my whole thought process with all that is you know, I could jump into something without knowledge and fumble my way through, but generally when you're working with people, when you fumble your way through, you're essentially, you know, you could potentially screw people up worse. You know, if I'm working on, you know, building something mechanically or something, fumbling my way through, sure, I could get it re-welded, grind it back down and try again, but it's not so easy to do that with a human, you know.
yeah, I think the
So,
biggest thing that you need to be able to tell the difference from is whether they need to be coached or whether they need mental help, like a professional person, like a psychologist or something like that. Because you do have to tell people to, like, go do that as a professional.
yeah. And there's people out there that only believe in Western medicine. They don't think there's any other way to find healing. And
It's true.
I kind of feel for them because there's many other ways, but when you're programmed so hardcore into believing that this is all there is, that's all you're going to believe until something happens and makes that change. So as as before, I used this term, I think here before that we're literally just farmers planting seeds. So that's all I'm doing is I'm just planting seeds, letting that person know, like, hey, when you're ready to explore other options, I'm here. I don't want to see you suffer, but you clearly have chosen to keep going this route. Actually, the person recently claimed that they relapsed and they're using again. Don't know exactly what, but breaks my heart. Like,
Breaks my heart
and
too.
I was there before. I know what it's like to try and hide those inner pains with, you know, substances that aren't good for the body, and all that's doing is just delaying the process of working through whatever it might be. So I've been very cautiously writing things to help plant those seeds, so to say.
Yeah. Well, it's smart to gather tools as you go along. I think I'm always gathering tools. I mean, I feel like our tool belts just keep growing.
Okay, for
Eventually,
sure.
I'll need a wall or garage for it, but
Essentially, but yeah, for me, it was the whole I would rather have a few tools in my belt to assist people than to just go in so blindly that I could, you know, essentially create a bad name for myself because I'm not helping, I'm hurting. And nobody wants to go to somebody that's going to hurt them. So, you know, I keep telling all these high ticket coach people trying to sign me up, like, no, I need I need to obtain some more knowledge to a point where I feel comfortable walking into a situation and at least knowing that I have tools to assist and the wisdom to say, this is out of my range,
Mm.
please seek help. Here's a list of, local medical facilities that could assist you. Here's some other coaches you could potentially talk to, and having resources for them instead of just, I don't know, walking away.
Yeah, that's where it's important to be connecting with people constantly too, so that you have that network of people to be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, go here, try this person.
Mm-hmm.
Super smart though. Shit, I had a thought. It left me. Thanks, GMO Cookies.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Cookies are always good.
oh no, no, I have. It's a strain called GMO Cookies.
Oh, I've heard of GMO. I didn't know that they were crossed with cookies already. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know any of it. I just buy it.
I still like to plant my gardens here and there, so I
Oh,
tend to pay attention to crosses and mixes and who works with what and whatnot. Because you get a couple good strains, and then someone decides, "Hey, that's really good and that's really good. Let's put them together." Well, that's where I'm like, I want some of that.
yeah. There's a lot of good strains out there, man. I know we had our strain episode. We'll have to have another one sometime. When you get more into the NLP stuff, though, I want to definitely we should do an episode on that for funsies and see if we can't find somebody else that wants to play, because I think NLP is a really fun subject. I've read a few books on it and listened to quite a few things on it. But
What I ordered is NLP practitioner non-certification reference manual.
hmm,
So I started thumbing through the pages here not that long ago and just getting a feel for how much time I should dedicate to some reading here and there. And it seems to be pretty quick read, but a lot of everything with me is making sure I fully comprehend. So I know I'm going to be bouncing between reading the book and looking stuff up online just to ensure that I'm grasping it in the way that it's meant to be grasped.
yeah, I get that. I normally have a reading schedule already booked out, so
Right. I know I've got a few books that I've got on my stack or my pile of books to read, and sometimes things take preference over others. So there's like six books, 5 books or something like that now that I've started and haven't finished.
10 pages a day, man. 10 pages a day.
That might be the way to go. Spend a couple
Or a
pages
certain
in the month.
time allotted, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something.
Well, some of them will be 10 pages would probably be more like a half hour because there's books that I've read where it's
I'm
like
the
I
same way.
reread the paragraph 5 or 6 different times because it's like wow. Exactly.
I know. I had my mind blown so many times in books just because of what it is. I'm just like, dang.
Right. Grasping it, understanding it, mind just being blown, like thinking like, is this even possible? Like, could this even be a thing type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's one of those have to research a little bit further just to know that yeah, this is actually happening. This is totally legit. This isn't someone just pulling stuff out their ass and slapping it in a book.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man. There's science behind all of this stuff, and it's really fun to just play with it all. Like that's why I'm so adventurous with all the thoughts, because it's just like jump into them, see what you think, try it out, experiment, be your own experiment. It's one of my favorite sayings from Tim Ferriss, I think.
Be your own experiment. That could go many ways.
Yeah, well, that depends on how you're taking it. Let's keep it clean.
Mm, fun stuff.
Oh my goodness. All right, man. I think this is the end of this episode. So, any last words for the audience on legacy or anything else that comes to mind?
Now is a great time to start.
Boom. I love it. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, share this, get the word out. We want to send these positive waves around the world, and we need you guys. Thank you. Love you all.
Thank you.